Welcome back, everybody, to the Miami Dolphins franchise. So if you're wondering what happened to Week 17, why is this already in the playoffs? Well, Week 17 recording got corrupted after I played it. Didn't realize it at all. Already saved the file, so there is no Week 17. It was a good game. Went into overtime. We ended up losing in overtime, but as you can see, it did not matter. Obviously, with the extra playoff spot we're in. So now we're just going to go over to the rest of the statistics, the standings, awards, all that before we get into the playoff game, which will be a next video. That'll be coming out real shortly after this. But here we go. Going into the season, you can see Tua ended up with 30-plus touchdowns, over 4,000 yards. Breida, a very good season, and Devontae Parker has turned into, I keep saying it, one of the better receivers in football, has another career year, 85 catches, about 1,500 yards, getting close, 11 touchdowns. Outstanding season, averaging 17 yards a catch. Cannot complain about that. Gesicki, one of the better tight ends. I think if he just stays healthy, I mean, he would have had over 10 touchdowns and over 1,000 yards if he stays healthy. And Preston Williams, struggled early on in the season, but really came alive at the end of the season. So hopefully same thing. He can stay healthy next year, get a full season. You never know what will happen receiver-wise, what we'll do in the offseason. We'll see. Now, on to the defense. So this is another story. This year, it has been up and down. I would say more downs than up. This defense has definitely struggled, and there's talent on this defense. I think it really just comes from the front 3 to 4. We need more talent for sure. And there's Christian Wilkins, Raekwon Davis. They're just young. They're just young and developing. So obviously, hopefully, they'll continue to develop well. I mean, Davis had a pretty good season. Christian Wilkins was a little quiet. Devon Godchaux, really, he led the team in sacks and played well. The impact on him this year just hasn't been enough. We haven't gotten enough stops. Offenses have been able to move the ball against us, score pretty much at will. That's why our offense has really been near the top and put up so many, points and yardage. Obviously, sometimes the offense put the defense in bad spots with all the turnovers early on in the season, but we have to improve defensively. We can't be near the bottom and expect to win many games. Really, if you look at those the Jets games, if you look at those games, that should be 2 losses right there. Right now, we'd be 7-9 and out of the playoffs. So we definitely need some improvements on that way. As we go to the league leaders, now looking at this, and Cam Newton, definitely comeback player of the year. If they had that award in Madden, which I don't understand why they do not. I don't know why they don't have like Walter Payton Award. Obviously I'm talking about franchise mode, so nothing ever gets updated here, but Cam Newton is your comeback player of the year. You could see the rookie season that Justin Herbert and Joe Burrow had. Absolutely outstanding. They look fantastic. You see Herbert's right there, number 3 in the league in touchdowns. Looks like the Chargers have their franchise quarterback. And thinking about it, this draft class with Burrow, Herbert, and now Tua on our team, man, this could be almost like a, was that 2000, what draft class was that? With Eli, Roethlisberger, and then Phillip Rivers. Is that another draft class we got going here? Could be. We'll see as we get longer into this franchise. As you saw, Ezekiel Elliott leads the league in rushing, and J.K. Dobbins, the rookie at Ohio State with the Ravens, leads the league with 13 rushing touchdowns. Man, there you go. They just got runners for days over there in Baltimore with Ingram, Gus Edwards, and J.K. Dobbins. Now, as for receiving, Devontae Parker led the league in yards, so that is awesome. With the average, I would think for sure led in average as well, so that is awesome to see that we actually have the lead leader in yards with receiving. That is something I would say definitely tough to get, and we got it with Devontae Parker. Cannot wait to keep going with him another season. I think just the rapport with Tua, it's going to get even better. And then who knows, we might, with Preston Williams stepping up, obviously he might go down a little bit, but it's just going to make him, you can't double him. You're just going to have to single up on him, and it could make him even more dangerous. As we go through the touchdowns here, Jack Doyle ended up with 10, and John Ross, could be a comeback player as well. I mean, what a season, over 1,000 yards, 10 touchdowns. He's really done not a whole lot in his career. So maybe this is a breakout season for him and the Bengals and helping out that young quarterback Joe Burrow with the season he has. Have we go to the defensive side of the ball. 2 of the top 3 total tackle makers that's on our team. There's Devin Bush right there, a guy we will see in this playoff game with the Pittsburgh Steelers. We'll talk about that more here in a minute as we continue to go through the stats here. Leading in the league in sacks, Khalil Mack, that's no surprise. Myles Garrett, J.J. Watt, Aaron Donald. Is that John Simon up there? Wow, there you go. Good season for him. Ndamukong Suh coming back. Bud Dupree, another Steeler, and obviously T.J. Watt right there, 10.5 as well. So your top guys, not too much of a surprise there. Calais Campbell with 9.5. As we get to interceptions, speaking of Ravens, Marlon Humphrey leads the league with 6, and then you have a bunch of guys there with 5 interceptions. Denzel Ward, Jalen Ramsey, William Jackson, and Dante Hightower, nice with 4 interceptions. And C.J. Henderson, a good rookie season there with 4 picks himself. And then we keep going down the list. Jeff Okudah with 3 picks. They're the rookie on Detroit. Now, let's go to the awards. Cam Newton does end up winning his second MVP in his first season with New England. We just can't catch a break. You know, as with the Dolphins, can't catch a break. You know, you get rid of Tom Brady. Oh, Brady's gone. They're going to have to finally, you know, start things over with a new quarterback as a Jarrett Stidham. Nope, let's just go out. Let's sign Cam. And he's back to Cam Newton form. Stays healthy. Wins the MVP. Number 1 seed in the AFC. It's like nothing ever changed. And the Patriots are right there. As we go to awards in the AFC, Defensive Player of the Year goes to C.J. Mosley on a 2 of 14 Jets team. I mean, those Jets games we played against him, he was outstanding. Flying all over the place. Really made a difference, so I could see that. Look at the offensive rookie of the year. There's his top 3 quarterbacks, and then J.K. Dobbins sitting right there. So I'm telling you, year or 2, we'll see. Obviously, you guys still got to deal with Lamar Jackson. Still got to deal with Patrick Mahomes. I mean, the AFC is stacked now with some crazy good young quarterbacks. C.J. Henderson wins Defensive Rookie of the Year. Patrick Queen. Igbenogany is going to be number 5, so that is cool to see. I mean, he had 5 sacks as a rookie cornerback and 3 picks. And actually, Raekwon Davis makes the list as well, so that is good to see. We'll have to see what happens in the offseason of how much he upgrades. I know he's only a normal development, but maybe we can get him up maybe as a star. We'll see. Breida wins Running Back of the Year. That's cool. Best wide receiver is going to be Devontae Parker. Going back to Breida, still, I'm like, oh, I should sign him. You know, he's not very old. He's only 25, 26 years old. We could probably get a decent contract. But I think I'm just going to let him roll into free agency because I want to see what's there. I'm just very curious to see who's going to be around. There's a couple guys that I could see that I might target if they're there. If not, we just go back to Breida, probably draft a running back, and go from there. So, obviously, we still have a game to go in these playoffs. Who knows how far we can go. I mean, I would say we're almost lucky to get into the playoffs this year at 9-7. If it wasn't for that extra wild card team, maybe we don't get in. If we don't get the luck from a couple of those Jets games, we're definitely not in. So you still got to look to the offseason right now because we're going to be playing a pretty talented Pittsburgh Steelers team. So the expectations going into the game, a little low. If we somehow get out of there with a victory, I'm all about it. But if we don't, you know, it's not really expected. I didn't even really expect to make the playoffs this season. So that is definitely a surprise. And we can just, you know, build off the playoff experience with Tua and some of these young guys on this team. As we get through the rest of the awards here in the NFC, no surprise there with DB, linebacker, and lineman. No surprise there. But you can see the stats here for teams. So we have the number 4 ranked offense. But as I was saying earlier, the 28th ranked defense. 11th in points scored with 400, but points allowed just about dead last. So actually our point differential is in the negative. So it is really surprising that, you know, we actually made the playoffs. The Titans have the number 1 offense. Patriots sitting right behind them. Packers, Dolphins at 4. Colts, Chargers, Seahawks, Chiefs, Ravens, Jets, and Steelers. So they're right outside the top 10 is Pittsburgh. As for points per game, New England 32.6, so well over the next team in Atlanta. As we go down the list here, and yeah, so we're right there as well, just maybe outside the top 10. Now, the number 1 defense is Pittsburgh. Really no surprise there, but that is who we're going to see. In Pittsburgh, it's tough to get victories, and especially with that defense, we got a young quarterback. It's going to be an interesting playoff game, that is for sure. Yeah, we're down there on the list, there's no doubt about it. Now, points allowed, yeah, Pittsburgh's still number 1 with 307. So right there, then you got the Giants, the Cowboys, the Ravens, the Giants, and Washington is there. Now, as for sacks, this is the one I was really surprised, because it just doesn't seem like we generate much pressure. It's just maybe we're picking up sacks in times where it doesn't really matter. Maybe the games are over. I don't know, but I was surprised we led the league in sacks, because it just doesn't seem like we get that much pressure. Now, as for Pittsburgh, James Conner is going to be out. He's out for the rest of the season. But with the loss of James Conner, I don't think it's even that big of a loss for Pittsburgh, because you just got Benny Snell that's going to come in here. He's just as good as a runner, so I don't really see a slack off there of anything with the position. And obviously everybody else is healthy on their offense. Roethlisberger's good to go. Juju Smith-Schuster is good to go. Ebron, Washington, they're all good to go. Johnson's good to go. So I think we're going to see the same Pittsburgh offense no matter what, even with James Conner out. And in reality, it doesn't really matter, because you got this defense. Devin Bush, Vince Williams just fly around. And then you got in the secondary, you got Terrell Edmonds, and then you got Minkah Fitzpatrick, the former Dolphin, so he's going to be wanting revenge in a playoff game. And then up front with TJ Watt, Cam Hayward, Bud Dupree. It's going to have to be quick passing. We'll try to establish the run the best we can to help out Tua, because we don't just want him sitting back there passing all day. So we're going to have to do whatever we can. But it's going to be an interesting one in Pittsburgh against the Steelers. But that's going to do it for this one. I just want to thank you guys so much again for all the support. You guys are awesome. If you please leave a like, that'd be great. And subscribe. I will see you in the next one. You guys have a good one. Bye-bye.